Did you know that neglecting just a few specific areas during your daily hygiene routine could quietly sabotage your health, especially as you age? It might seem like a small thing, but for many older adults, these tiny oversights can lead to major discomfort or even infections, when in reality, just a few seconds a day can make all the difference. As we get older, our bodies change, our skin becomes thinner, circulation slows, and oil production decreases. These shifts not only affect how we look, but they also make certain areas of the body more vulnerable than ever before. And the most surprising part, the areas that need the most attention are often the ones we forget about. In this video, we're going to reveal 5 specific parts of the body that every adult over 65 should be cleaning every single day. No exceptions. But don't worry, this isn't about adding complicated or time-consuming steps to your routine. These are simple, easy habits that can make a real difference in how you feel, look, and age. So if you're between 65 and 80 and want to stay fresh, clean, confident, and independent, this video is just for you. And stick with me until the end, because the last one might just surprise you the most. First up, your scalp and hairline. Many people assume that if they're washing their hair, their scalp is clean. But after 70, that's not always the case. The skin along the hairline, around the back of the neck, and across the scalp can trap sweat oil and dead skin, just like any other part of the body. If not cleaned properly, it can lead to itchiness, flaking, and even fungal infections. Why is this more important with age? Because older adults tend to have drier skin, slower cell turnover, and thinner hair. That combination creates the perfect storm: more scalp exposure, but less oil to protect it. Add in hats, wigs, or less frequent shampooing, and you've got a recipe for buildup. Let me tell you about Raymond, a 78-year-old gentleman who started noticing persistent itchiness on the crown of his head, especially in the evenings. At first, he assumed it was just dry winter skin. But after seeing a dermatologist, he learned that dead skin and leftover shampoo were clogging his follicles and irritating his scalp. The solution: he started using a soft bristle brush to gently exfoliate his scalp during washes, and he made sure to rinse thoroughly every time. Within just a few days, the itching stopped completely, and he felt cleaner, more comfortable, and more confident. Neglecting your scalp might not seem like a big deal at first glance, but over time, it can quietly become the root of several frustrating problems. A buildup of oil, sweat, and leftover shampoo can throw your scalp's natural balance completely off track. And when that happens, issues like scalp acne, irritation, and even fungal infections can show up uninvited. One of the more embarrassing signs: a musty, lingering odor around your hairline, often caused by sweat that settles in but rarely gets wiped away. So the next time you're in the shower, try this. Don't just shampoo your hair like you're washing fabric. Shift your attention to your scalp itself, especially the spots we tend to overlook, like the front hairline behind the ears and the nape of the neck. Use your fingertips, not your nails, to gently massage the area in slow circular motions. If bending or hand strength is an issue, a soft bristled scalp brush with a long handle can make things easier and more comfortable. Once you've finished washing, make sure to rinse thoroughly. This step is key. Any leftover residue, no matter how mild it seems, can feed bacteria and clog your pores. After your shower, take a moment to let your scalp air dry completely. Trapped moisture is a silent culprit behind skin problems, especially in older adults. But here's the real reason this matters. Your scalp isn't just about staying fresh. It's deeply tied to how well you sleep, how relaxed you feel throughout the day, and even your sense of personal pride. Just like your hands and feet, your scalp deserves daily care. When you know you've tended to even the parts of yourself that others can't see, you stand a little taller, smile a little more confidently, and feel fully cared for from head to toe. Now let's talk about something most people forget entirely: the ears, especially the area behind them. Believe it or not, that little crease behind your ears can quietly become one of the dirtiest spots on your entire body, particularly as we age. And yet it rarely crosses anyone's mind. It's hidden, it's small, it doesn't get mentioned in health checkups. But make no mistake, this overlooked area can become a breeding ground for all sorts of unpleasant surprises if it's not cleaned regularly. Here's why: the skin behind your ears contains oil glands that continue to produce sebum as you age. But unlike when you were younger, the skin's ability to shed naturally slows down. That oil mixes with sweat flakes of skin and even residue from shampoos or conditioners. Over time, this forms a sticky film that traps dirt and bacteria. And that's where problems begin. Bad odor, irritation, and even infections or open sores. To make matters worse, the skin back there becomes thinner with age, less able to protect itself. And for many seniors who wear glasses or hearing aids, the issue compounds. These devices rest directly on or behind the ears, trapping heat and moisture, creating the perfect storm for bacterial growth. If this area is skipped over during bathing, it can quickly become red, itchy, or cracked, and in some cases even painful. The good news: a simple intentional swipe with a damp cloth or gentle cleanser each day can make a world of difference. It's not just about hygiene, it's about restoring comfort and confidence in ways most people don't even realize they were missing. Sometimes it's the smallest things that create the biggest problems, like that tender patch of skin hiding just behind your ears. You'd be surprised how many older adults end up with itchy, irritated, or even infected skin in this overlooked area. And in many cases, the cause is so simple, it's just buildup residue oil and sweat. Take Mr. Harold, for instance. He's 81, wears glasses daily, and didn't think twice about that area behind his ears. He began noticing some discomfort, an itchy red feeling that didn't seem to go away. At first, he assumed it was just dry winter skin. But when it started to sting, he finally visited his dermatologist. The diagnosis: a mild bacterial infection caused by sweat and debris trapped between his skin and his glasses arms. The solution: a simple daily wipe down, could have prevented it entirely. That's what makes this kind of issue so frustrating. It's incredibly easy to prevent, yet often completely ignored. Why? Because it's out of sight and out of mind. But here's the catch: when it finally becomes noticeable, like when someone leans in for a hug or you're sitting in a barber's chair, it can be a little embarrassing if the skin is flaky red or worse, has a faint odor. The best part is you don't need to buy any special products or spend extra time in front of the mirror. Just include this one small step in your daily hygiene routine during your shower or face wash. Gently wipe behind your ears using a soft, warm cloth. You can use just warm water or add a mild fragrance-free soap if you prefer. If you wear glasses or hearing aids, don't forget to clean the areas where those devices touch your skin too. It only takes a few seconds, but the benefits, they're huge. You'll not only feel cleaner and more refreshed, but your skin will stay healthy and irritation-free. More importantly, caring for these hidden areas is a small but powerful act of self-respect. When you take time to tend to the parts of yourself others might not see, you remind your body and your spirit that you're still worth the care. These little choices add up. Cleanliness isn't just about appearances, it's directly tied to comfort, dignity, and well-being. And hey, if you're still watching and finding this helpful, I'd love for you to type number 2 in the comments, just to let me know you're here and staying with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video designed to keep you informed, empowered, and feeling your best every day. Now let's keep going, because the next spot we're covering might surprise you even more. Number 3 might surprise you. It's your belly button. That's right, this tiny, often forgotten area deserves a spot on your daily hygiene checklist, especially if you're over 70. You see, the belly button doesn't get nearly as much attention as other parts of your body. It doesn't sweat like your underarms, and it's not as visible as your face or hands. Because of that, it's easy to ignore, and most people do. But despite being small, it can quietly become one of the dirtiest areas on your body without you even realizing it. Why? Because your belly button is essentially a little hidden pocket of skin. It's often warm, dark, and slightly moist, the perfect environment for bacteria, yeast, and even fungi to thrive. And as we age, our skin naturally becomes looser, especially around the abdomen. This means the belly button can become deeper or change shape due to muscle loss, weight shifts, or past surgeries like hernia repair. Scar tissue or extra folds can make it even harder to keep this area clean. Most people think that just letting water run over it in the shower is enough, but that's far from the truth. The belly button actually requires gentle, focused cleaning. Why? Because without regular care, it can collect a strange mixture of dead skin cells, body oils, lint from clothing, and even leftover lotion or soap residue. Over time, this gunk can harden and form what's called an omphalolith, essentially a belly button stone. Yes, you read that right. And if left untreated, it can lead to irritation, infection, or even require medical removal. Let me share the story of Martha, a lively 74-year-old who began to notice an unusual smell that she couldn't quite pinpoint. She kept up with her usual hygiene routine, but the odor persisted. It wasn't until she visited her doctor that the mystery was solved. The problem was coming from a buildup deep inside her belly button. What had started as a bit of trapped residue had turned into a mild fungal infection. Martha was completely taken aback. In all her years, she had never once thought about cleaning her belly button directly. But with her doctor's guidance, she began a new habit, using a warm, damp cloth each morning to gently wipe inside the area, then patting it dry thoroughly. The result? The smell vanished, the irritation stopped, and the issue never returned. And while it might seem like a minor thing, the emotional toll of small hygiene issues like this is very real. When your body doesn't feel right when you smell something odd or notice irritation, it can chip away at your confidence. It can make you second-guess yourself in social settings, around family, or even at the doctor's office. That's why these simple, mindful hygiene practices matter so much. They're not just about cleanliness. They're about protecting your sense of dignity, comfort, and self-worth. So tomorrow morning, when you're washing your face or brushing your teeth, take a moment for this often forgotten spot. It might only take 30 seconds, but the benefits go far beyond what you can see. You might not think much of it at first, but when you start second-guessing how you smell during a doctor's visit, or worrying about whether others can notice an odd odor in close conversations, something deeper is happening. It's not vanity, it's vulnerability. These quiet concerns, the ones no one really talks about, can slowly chip away at how we see ourselves, especially as we grow older. That's why caring for something as simple as your belly button isn't silly, it's powerful. At first it might feel strange, maybe even unnecessary. But with time it becomes a meaningful daily habit, one that reminds you I still matter. My body still deserves attention, even in the places others can't see. So next time you're in the shower or getting dressed, take a brief moment for this small act of self-care. Use a soft washcloth or even a damp cotton swab with warm water or gentle soap to clean inside your belly button. Just as importantly, dry it thoroughly afterward, because moisture left behind is where bacteria and fungi love to thrive. It may seem like a tiny step, but it sends a powerful message to yourself and to the world that your health, your hygiene, and your dignity still hold value. You're not giving up on yourself. You're showing up for yourself. Now, let's move to an area that carries us through life, our feet. More specifically, our toes and toenails. Your feet are the foundation of your mobility. But unfortunately, as we age, our toes often become the most ignored part of our body until something goes wrong. And by then, it's usually a painful reminder that prevention matters more than we thought. After age 70, this part of your body demands more care than ever. Why? Because it's not just about keeping your feet clean or your nails trimmed for appearance's sake. Neglecting your toes can lead to serious infections, chronic pain, and even trouble walking. And when walking becomes difficult, everything else from independence to quality of life starts to feel limited. Here's what changes as we age. Toenails tend to thicken, become curved, and harder to manage. Circulation in the lower extremities may weaken, especially if you have diabetes, arthritis, or vascular conditions. And let's be honest, bending down to scrub between your toes or trim your nails just isn't as easy as it used to be. That can make it tempting to skip this part of your routine. But here's the problem. The areas between your toes are small, enclosed spaces that collect sweat, dead skin, dirt, and sock fibers. When not cleaned regularly, those tight, dark spaces become ideal homes for fungi and bacteria to grow. Have you ever heard of toenail fungus? It's one of the most common foot conditions among older adults, and once it starts, it doesn't go away easily. It might begin as a faint yellow spot on your nail, but it can quickly worsen, causing your nail to thicken, become brittle, or even separate from the skin. And when walking becomes painful, your balance gets thrown off, which can increase your risk of falls. Worse still, fungal infections can spread to the surrounding skin, leading to itching, cracking, or bleeding. And that's why giving your feet a little attention now can save you a world of trouble later. Let's face it, no one wants to deal with toenail fungus or foot pain, especially when a bit of simple, consistent care can make all the difference. And it's not just about hygiene, it's about how we feel about ourselves. Let me tell you about Gerald, a kind 76-year-old man who shared something deeply personal. He said he stopped wearing sandals, something he used to love, because he was embarrassed by how his toenails looked. But it wasn't just the appearance. It was the discomfort, the soreness, and most of all that quiet feeling of losing control over a part of his own body. Eventually, Gerald decided to see a podiatrist. With just a little support, he started trimming and cleaning his toenails properly, and slowly things began to change. But what struck me most was what he said after I felt like I got a piece of myself back. That moment, that shift, is what we're aiming for. Because real transformation doesn't always come from big changes. Sometimes it comes from reclaiming small parts of your daily routine that remind you I still matter. I still have control over how I feel in my own skin. Caring for your toes and toenails isn't complicated, but it does require attention. Next time you bathe, take a few extra moments to gently scrub between each toe using a soft brush or washcloth. Once you're done, dry those areas thoroughly. Moisture trapped between the toes is one of the main causes of fungal infections. And when it comes to your toenails, keep them trimmed straight across to prevent painful ingrown nails. Smooth out any sharp edges with a nail file. If you struggle with flexibility or balance, try using a long-handled nail clipper, or better yet, ask a family member or a foot care professional for help. There's no shame in needing support. The real win is staying healthy, mobile, and confident. Because here's the truth, these small steps protect much more than your feet. They preserve your independence, your comfort, and your confidence. They help you move with ease, and when you move with ease, you live with freedom. And if you're still here, still watching and finding value in these insights, I'd love to know you're with me. Please drop a number 4 in the comments below. It lets me know you're here and paying attention to your well-being. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell. Your support helps us keep creating content that informs, uplifts, and empowers. Now let's keep going, because the next area we're about to explore is one that's often misunderstood, especially as we age. Number 5, under the breasts and within skin folds. For many older adults, particularly those with larger bodies or looser skin, these hidden areas are some of the most overlooked when it comes to hygiene, and yet they're among the most important to care for. Number 5, the hidden folds of skin, especially under the breasts and around the belly. These areas are rarely talked about yet. They're incredibly important to take care of, especially as we age. Whether it's the underside of the breasts, the lower abdomen, or the soft folds along the torso, these tucked away areas tend to trap heat, moisture, and sweat, creating the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, fungi, and odor. They may not be visible in the mirror, but they play a huge role in your day-to-day comfort. Why does this become more of an issue after age 70? As we grow older, our skin becomes thinner and less elastic, meaning it folds more easily. At the same time, mobility can decrease, making it harder to reach these areas or give them enough air circulation. Without friction or exposure to fresh air, they stay warm, damp, and enclosed, just the kind of environment bacteria and yeast thrive in. Let me share the story of Barbara, a warm-hearted 75-year-old who noticed a faint irritation beneath her breast. At first, she thought it was just a little chafing from her bra, but over time it became redder, itchier, and more uncomfortable. What seemed minor turned out to be a yeast infection triggered by prolonged moisture in that area. Barbara's doctor gave her simple advice: after every shower, gently clean the area and pat it completely dry using a soft towel. In spots that are hard to reach, like under folds of skin, she began using clean cloths or soft cotton pads to absorb any leftover moisture. That one small change made a big impact, not only in how she felt physically, but emotionally too. She felt cleaner, more comfortable, and more in control. For some people, a light dusting of cornstarch-based body powder can help keep the skin dry throughout the day, but it's always best to check with your doctor before adding anything new to your routine. And remember, avoid talcum powder, as it can sometimes irritate sensitive skin or cause other issues. More importantly, make it a daily habit to check these areas, because they're hidden from view. Early signs of irritation like mild redness, odor, or itching can go unnoticed until they develop into something painful or embarrassing. But let me say this loud and clear: there is nothing shameful about your body. Every curve, every fold, every wrinkle, it all tells the story of a life lived with courage, strength, and love. Taking the time to care for yourself isn't vanity, it's self-respect. It's preventive care. And it's a way to stay one step ahead of problems before they grow into something more serious. Final thoughts: as we age, it's not about doing less, it's about learning what matters more. We begin to understand that it's the little habits, the small gestures of care that have the power to transform our lives. Not because we can't do big things anymore, but because we've lived long enough to know that small things done consistently are what truly keep us well. Clean toes, a cared-for scalp, a dry fold of skin. These aren't minor details. They are acts of love for your body, your health, and your peace of mind. So let this be your reminder, you're worth the care. Every single day. It's incredible, isn't it? How something as simple as cleaning a few overlooked parts of your body each day can have such a profound effect, not just on your physical health, but on your sense of dignity, your comfort, and your confidence. You've just discovered 5 commonly forgotten areas that deserve your attention, not because of neglect or laziness, but because no one ever really talks about them. But the truth is they matter so much more as we age. When your skin becomes thinner, when your immune system slows down, and when even the smallest irritation can lead to something bigger, every gentle act of care counts. From your scalp to your toes, your ears to your belly button, each part carries a history. Each one tells a story, and each one deserves to be honored, cleaned, and cared for daily. But let's zoom out for a moment, because this video hasn't just been about hygiene. This is about something deeper. It's about honoring your body, the one that's carried you through every chapter of your life. It's about respecting the journey you have taken and reminding yourself that you're still here, still showing up, and still worthy of care in every way. Every wrinkle, every scar, every change, it all tells the story of a life that's been lived with courage. And taking just a few minutes a day to tend to yourself, that's not just routine. That's a quiet declaration: I still matter. I still care. And that simple realization might be one of the most powerful gifts of aging. You see, aging well isn't about turning back the clock. It's not about pretending we're younger than we are. It's about choosing to live with intention, with clarity, and with pride. It's about taking care of yourself, not out of fear, but out of love. When you take care of your body, even in the smallest ways, you reinforce that pride. You remind yourself that you haven't given up and that you're still invested in your own life. So let this be your gentle reminder. Clean with purpose, care with kindness, and never let your age convince you to stop tending to the things that matter, because your health, your comfort, and your dignity are worth protecting. Every single day. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What was one thing you learned from today's video, and how do you plan to apply it to your daily life? Please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your stories inspire us, and your voice matters more than you know. We read every message, and it fuels our mission to keep creating helpful, heart-centered content just for you. And if you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. You never know how much a small reminder can help someone else live more fully. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and always take care of yourself. You deserve it. Your continued support means the world to us. It's what allows us to keep creating thoughtful, helpful content, to inform you, to inspire you, and to walk this journey of aging gracefully right alongside you. Thank you for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself and keep living with intention.